Are you able to see if they confirmed?
The bill is online.
Okay.
Let me just confirm the recording is actually working. Okay, cool. You want to start?
I'm on the phone.
Give them till 1:01. He's a big boy. He should know to be on time.
Yeah, I thought they had. I'll see.
Hi, everyone.
Actually, we got a full house.
All right, we're ready.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Just a heads up so everyone's aware, this is being recorded. It's going to be sent out to the rest of the board members once we've concluded. Can we just go around and have everyone introduce themselves?
Start with us.
Yeah.
How you doing? Matthew Coleman with Airstron Mechanical.
Kyle Bergens, Airstron Mechanical. Brian Coyle, Airstron Mechanical.
Eric Revan, Airstron.
Scott LaForet, Property Manager.
Ryan Walpo, Owner's Rep, Project Manager.
Alex McCallis, Vice President, Playa del Sol. Bill.
Bill Valerio, Director. Playa del Sol.
David Alharar, Director, Playa del Sol.
And I'm Tom Gritter, mechanical engineer with Epic Engineering.
Thank you, everyone. Start off, can you just give us a little background information on the company, how long you've been in business, how long you've been in the area, et cetera?
We've been in business 40 plus years. It was the same two owners up until about 5 years ago. We sold to a company called Service Logic. The owners have since left and retired. We promoted from within. Two guys that came up in the company are running the company now. We have like 400 plus commercial service accounts now. Basically service Key West all the way up into the Panhandle. 3 offices, main offices here in Broward, 95 in Davie. We have an office in Port St. Lucie, an office in Tampa. And we're pretty much in all sectors as far as HVAC. We're pretty heavy into the condo market, service and construction wise. We do a lot of healthcare work, a lot of assisted living, a lot of hospitality. Pretty much got our hands into a little bit of everything.
How many employees are you guys?
250.
Nice.
We also have the controls department.
We do in-house controls and in-house sheet metal as well.
You guys service residential, like single family homes or?
Everything except residential.
You got, and so I know you guys worked at the Playa del Mar project semi-recently. What was that like?
What was it like as far as the install?
How was the project?
Oh, the project went great. It was different than here in that the first go around, they only did 4 risers. I don't know if it was an assessment thing or they just wanted to do the worst ones first, but we did those 4 and then they basically contracted us to do all the risers in their entirety, which they had multiple floods. So their piping was in terrible shape. But the job went super smooth. I'm sure you guys have talked to them next door.
They use copper, right?
All copper. Yep, typo. But basically same exact, I mean, you guys are almost identical. Like when you open the closet, you could be in either building.
Yeah.
And it looks exactly the same. And a lot of the struggles that we faced on that job that were like, you know, unknowns when you bid it, when you get into the job, it's kind of becomes a thing. We tried to capture as far as like on this job where it was an unknown, now it's not an unknown because we've done it once already. So I would only expect that this job would go a little
Were you
smooth.
involved in that job or was that?
I ran it.
Oh, you ran it.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was on site.
I was the guy running it on site.
Okay.
I was the PM.
I was a service tech in the field at the time.
But there was a few small things on that job. One thing that wasn't necessarily in a mechanical thing, but the inspector caught it, was it was a code upgrade for the water heaters. I can't remember if it was either they had a motor rated switch, like for power for the water heater, and they didn't want to switch, or vice versa. But the city made us do that, which I believe I listed it on my proposal, just in case it was like a price for water heater. It's all electrical, so you guys could have your own electrician do it. They caught it then. Since then, I don't know if the code changed or if it's a whole different deal, but that was one issue. And then the other issue was the way they sleeved the decks when they built the building. So like you would expect if there's a riser going up and a riser going down, there would be 3 hole cores, like where they put a sleeve when they poured the deck. Well, for some reason on that job, they did a big rectangular hole, and then they filled it with paper mache, almost like plaster of Paris.
Yeah.
Like they stuffed it with newspaper and like poured it over. So when we went to break the riser out, the whole square basically fell out, which you couldn't tell when we bid it. This one I confirmed before we bid, and I got a fire stopper now. Because we played hell getting an assembly to fit that hole that was UL listed. But now I've got that sorted, and it looks like you guys got the same exact thing here. So but those are the only 2 main issues. Otherwise, I mean, it's pretty much, we moved through them, basically a weaker riser, provided spot cooling, just like we talked about.
Is this project, I mean, is this, compared to your other work, is this like a large project, a small project? Where does it sit for you guys?
Mid-size based on labor. We've had larger monetary projects, but it's sometimes it's equipment based in the number, you know. You got a couple $1 million of equipment, but the labor, you know, force can be very small for a big crane and a big piece of equipment versus very time consuming riser replacements. Not a ton of material, but a ton of labor to get a riser put in a week.
Why don't we do this? Can we have them kind of just explain the process of the project?
I was gonna get to that.
Sure.
Yeah, and then without any interruptions, and then we can ask our questions afterwards.
So you want to go through like methodology for one riser?
Yeah.
It's pretty much going to be, the only difference for this building is size. You got some 30-story and then some shorter. So basically the way we do it is it's basically a bunch of 2-man crews, and we're kind of rotating through the floors. So the day that we start, we valve off the riser, drain the riser. We basically have 2 crews that are draining water heaters with a little pump into a giant trash cart and emptying the water downstairs, so we can pull water heaters. So you got a crew doing that, then a crew coming behind them that's physically pulling water heaters and heat pumps, and then a crew coming behind them and pulling out the old pipe. That usually takes about 2 days to get everything out of the closet, where the closet is essentially empty. Like stands, because we're replacing the stand, everything. So it's all out. We have a crew, same deal. As soon as the minute we're done demoing the riser, we already have a crew downstairs stacking the new riser. All the piping's prefabbed. It has the hoses connected to it, zip tied off. It's all labeled per floor. Basically, it stacks up with the connections. And then as we're moving through and stacking, there's crews coming behind, sliding the water heaters back in, putting the stands in, putting the heat pumps in, which is the slowest part of the operation, is basically reconnecting the heat pump, because we got to do duct work, we got to do hoses, we got to do electrical, thermostat wire, make sure it runs. But basically, we get to the top, there's already guys putting in heat pumps, we fill it with water, pressure test it, make sure there's no leaks. Once there's no leaks, we open up to the system and then continue installing heat pumps, and then cutting the heat pumps on as we get them installed and get the hoses hooked up until we're done. The smaller risers typically take a little less than a week, or at least they were at Playa. We were getting those done pretty quick because the amount of heat pumps we had to take out was way less. The 30 stories, it was a week, but we were pretty, Friday kind of late.
Friday, we were getting out of there 7 to 9.
We were cranking up the last heat pumps about 6, 7 o'clock on Friday, and we started on Monday morning. But it was just the difference in how many heat pumps we had to pull. The riser, whether it's 30-story or 17-story, it stacks. Once the holes are open, it stacks pretty quickly.
Some of the lower units, you don't have to remove anything. Everything's on the side.
So the
Correct.
smaller risers,
Yeah,
some of, yeah.
yeah, they're on the side.
I think of some of those we were knocking out, by Thursday morning, everybody was
Right,
online.
we were already online, but where the big 30 stories where it's like, it starts out as a 6-inch main and there's 30 units. But you gotta think once a 2-man crew gets the heat pump in and you leave a guy there to hook up the heat pump, he's doing just like a new install. He's doing the ductwork connection, he's hooking up thermostat, hooking up power, making sure it runs, like hooking up the drain, like he's kind of stuck there for a little bit. So that's the most time consuming part, which we just compensate with manpower. So more units equals more service crews installing. The crew for the riser replacement itself would be the same every time. It doesn't take many guys to stack a riser. Service guys are where you make up time or lose time.
How many people do you see these crews being?
Small riser's probably a 10-man crew. The big riser's 14 to 16 guys.
Verizon?
Is the plan to do one stack at a time, or are you gonna look to do?
It seemed to be the best way in terms of the residents. Because what we did for that job was we agreed on a price, signed a contract, and then I provided them basically with a schedule from start to finish with every stack on it. And we, obviously we put weeks in between. So obviously we can get trash and stuff out of the place, punch list crap. We didn't stack all the risers on top of each other. And basically once everybody was happy with the schedule per stack, you guys put that out as notice, like way before, because number one, it gives them time to decide if they want to be here when we do it, because they're going to be down for a week or so, And then number two, if they wanted to purchase a new heat pump, we gave them time basically to give you guys notice and give you guys a check. And then we would come pick up the checks, order all the heat pumps like well before that riser was done. So we'd have new water heaters for each apartment that wanted them and new heat pumps already here, like, the Friday before that next riser was going to start. And it just worked out good for the residents as well as the management staff, because everything was kind of scheduled out way in advance. And we agreed that was like set in stone. Once these riser dates are set, they're not changing.
We have a resolution that any heat pump that's over 15 years has to be replaced. There's a resolution for that.
Yeah, remember that wording I showed you in it though?
Well, now's the time to,
Well, for the residents, I mean, you could tell it to them this way rather than like if it's over 15 years old. What really got people's attention over there is because you guys are responsible for your heat pump in your apartment, but you're also paying whoever AC company that does it. You're paying them for the install, the hoses, the drain, the labor to install that thing, and all the hoses. The drain, it's already included.
right.
You're literally buying the heat pump.
Yeah, you're-
So-
If there was a heat pump or a water heater, that was literally 15 to 20
No,
years
just
old. I mean,
Water heater, not the heat pump. Water heater.
Yeah, we're actually just working on it right now in the Rules and Regulation Committee. So I think that's going to change. I think that the number of 15 is going to be removed just as long as you're able to keep it up in proper shape.
Would the city even allow you to reinstall? Something
Depends.
that'll-
I know a lot of those water heaters, the reason for that 15-year number is the vessel warranty is
Yeah, the
15
vessel
years.
warranty, yeah.
Like once that's up, all bets are off. It doesn't say that that it's inferior or won't work. I mean, there's water heaters in the house that are 25 years old.
Yeah.
It's just that vessel warranty now is gone. So in some people's eyes, that means if it ruptures, like there's exposure. But I would say we got to come lay out the closets anyways, like to lay out the riser itself. If we open a closet up and the guy that's laying out will be instructed to do so, if we see a water heater that's swelled up at the bottom
Right,
and it's,
rusted.
and the resident says, oh, I want to keep my water heater, we can at least give you guys notice like, hey, this thing's like about to go. You might want to consider pulling it, setting it. Cause I mean, it's a 40-gallon low boy water heater. It's not, we're not talking tons of money.
But my point was the city doesn't care.
No,
They do not.
it's a leak issue.
As long as it's connected properly with the proper hoses or piping and connected electrically properly, if it has a leak, I mean, that's not on, it's the same thing as my pipe leaks. That's not on the city either. You know what I mean?
Will there be any temporary hot water heater during that period, or there's not gonna be no hot water?
Really no way. It takes the same amount of time to hook up the temporary hot water as it does for me to put the water heater in, because that's the first thing that goes back in. And that doesn't affect, like, it's not running on condenser water, it's just domestic cold water. So as soon as we slide the heater in and hook up the hose and hook up the electric, we can open the valve and turn the heat on.
Okay.
So you'll have hot water before you have AC, most likely.
Okay,
It's gonna be staggered.
all right,
It's not like the residents can't expect that, like, okay, we're shutting down day 1. On day 3, we're all gonna have hot water. It might be day 2, because they're all gonna talk. So like day 2, some of them might have hot water. Day 3, some more might have hot water. Like day 3, some of them might have AC. Day 4, some more might have AC. It's just
So
gonna
are we
be,
looking at about a week of no hot water?
I would say no more than probably 3 days, no hot water.
beautiful.
Total riser replacement, like everything's back in and ACs are running, it would be a week.
So AC, no week, no, you don't have AC for a week, but hot water roughly 3 days, you're saying?
Correct. And some people it'll be sooner, some people that'd be like the max. The last guy will be getting hot water at the end of the 3rd day, probably.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Where in the units do you kind of view your, I'm gonna say this area of impact, like where in the units are you guys gonna be taking up space? Just in the closets, or is there other area you're gonna need as well?
Last time we just used a small laydown, but it wasn't permanent. It was like, we came in 2 days before, like if the riser was gonna start on a Monday, we came in Thursday, Friday, and we just like put our piping that was all pre-labeled and hoses on it. We stacked those in there, the new heat pumps, new water heaters, fittings.
You guys actually had a meter room on each floor that
Yeah.
we used for storage. Yeah. That's where we stored so that week in between risers where we'd remove all the old debris off, start the fire caulking, stage for the next riser, right? And we would shake everything out in that meter room.
So like the new riser sections, fittings, hoses, all that crap we would store in there. So it's kind of out of the
If they were
way.
using a heat pump or hot water heater, it went in there, so there's no confusion that somebody say, I didn't get mine back. No, it
And then I
never left that
believe-
floor.
We stacked the new ones the day before. We stacked the new ones on each floor and labeled them. The water heaters and the.
Prior to the start, they were in that meter room.
So you'll see them like a day before. We'll be moving units around
Mhm.
and kind of whoever bought them. Some risers, it might be 5 people, some risers, it might be 10. We'll have them all labeled and we'll kind of shake them out beforehand. So the guys that are doing the heat pumps know which ones go in the garbage and which ones are going back. So we don't throw somebody's away that isn't getting a new one. But not a super huge laydown area is really needed.
So I think we talked about it a bit previously, but we're currently doing a new fire alarm and fire sprinkler installation. Do you foresee that being a coordination issue all for just space in the units? I know the sprinklers going in over every doorway. They are in units 2 days a week.
Not
Do
really.
you see that? Okay.
We're primarily, all our work is in that closet. So we'll have like a piece of masonite on the ground taped off with blue tape, and you'll have a guy working a different crew every time, depending on what process we're in on that floor, just working right at that riser. That's the other benefit of doing one stack at a time.
Are you guys installing these? How many units are you working in at once?
Probably most of them, but we're just like I said, we kind of do it like a round robin. So there'll be a guy at a unit, but in a different process than maybe the guy before or after him on the floor above or below.
So by that, I mean, like, I'm just gonna pick a random time. If it's 10 o'clock Wednesday morning, how many units at that point in time can I expect people in? Just because we're gonna have to make means to have security with you guys.
It actually physically in the unit?
No, like in front of the closet.
Because we're not going inside the units unless there's an issue with the thermostat,
Okay.
which would not come in until later on. Thursday,
We're only
Friday.
in the hallway.
We're not going in units unless there's an issue.
Just one.
Unless somebody, like we hook up their heat pump, they turn the thermostat on and something doesn't work. Then we have to go in, look at what they got. Sometimes they just don't have thermostat on.
Okay.
I have 3 questions, if that's okay with you. I'm wondering, first of all, like in Playa del Mar, where'd you set up the staging area? Is it down in the basement, up top?
Here's the basement.
It's downstairs.
So all your equipment, everything, all the material went downstairs to the basement?
Yeah, and we just staged the equipment or the heat pumps and the riser material. We staged it per riser. So basically, we spaced the risers out. So we had a week or 2 weeks in between If we did, I think the small ones we were doing back to back, we were doing one a week because it was way less material. But the big ones, we gave ourselves a week. So we staged the new and then we brought all the old after we were done down to that area. And then we had our truck come, loaded it, got it out of there. And then preceding the next one, we loaded a day or two before, got everything ready. So it's really only one riser's worth of garbage or new at a time. We're not gonna like store all of our stuff for the whole job.
So one parking spot is good enough for you, and how do you get everything in and out? It's like a low rise truck or something like that?
We were pulling the delivery truck up and just.
Yeah,
carting it
we
down,
we're
right?
parking it right in front of the ramp and just unloading it by hand.
Yeah,
Okay.
And
So
then I
one
think,
parking spot is good enough for staging area.
yeah, two parking spots downstairs in the basement would be more than enough.
Okay, so the other question I have is, did you guys ever think of different materials for the risers?
I know there was something on the RFP about high density polyethylene or Aquatherm. The product's a great product, but it's also install specific as to whether it's a good fit. So like with a riser job, based on the size of pipe that you have on some of these risers, that's a fusion product. So there's a hot plate that heats the ends of the pipe up and it pushes it together to make a fused joint. The machine to do that on the larger size pipe, you'd have to pick it up horizontally. And for 5 and 6 inch pipe, you wouldn't even be able to fit it up against the wall to make the joint. Like the machine itself is this big around.
Yeah, I understand.
So like if your riser's this far from the wall, now you're putting flange joints so you have a bunch of mechanical joints and the flanges are super expensive. But like for that product for underground, there's nothing better because you could fuse a half a mile of it together with no joints. Basically it's one long stick of pipe.
Right.
It's just application wise.
And the
It's a great
pressure
product for
down
this.
below will not create a mess of it?
What was that?
The pressure down below, I mean, there's quite a bit of pressure down on the system in the lower areas. That will not have, like, the PVC will not have any issue with it, or the plastic, whatever it is.
As far as for the Aquatherm?
As far as the joints, when they come together, when
Oh,
they
no.
fuse,
No. The stuff that we're using, the Type L with the thick joints are rated above 300 PSI. Aquatherm's rated the same. It's not really a question of pressure. It's more a question of install. Like which Aquatherm's not even that much cheaper anymore. And its availability is getting less and less now. It's like, we just did a large job at Palm Beach State College, where they promised us the world with Aquatherm's, a big underground job, and sourcing the material turned out to be a nightmare. It was easy to put it in once we had it, but once we made an order that was, a couple miles worth of pipe, they were like, whoa, well, we got to get this from here, and this comes from here, and their Type L copper, I can go to Ferguson, I can go to Lehman, I can go anywhere, and they have it in stock, like as much as you want.
so steel is the right way to go, basically.
Well, if you think of it in terms as a contingency deal, like if we say Aquatherm would work and we could make the joints in the closets, based on availability too, if something happened and we needed extra fittings, or the fire sprinkler guy where we tie in off the main downstairs, and he's got a main running right where we need to go and we need to make an offset. If we don't have those fittings and we call Spouse and they don't have them, like we can't tie the riser into the main. Versus copper Vic, everybody has it. I can have it here today. Like it's not slowing down the job,
Or later on in the future, if you have any issues with pipe breaks or anything like that, just trying to get it, going straight to the splice, coming right back. That's, you won't.
So I think either method, there is no possibility for leaks once we're done. It's just more of an application thing and sourcing. Like I know I can get my hands on copper. Like if you told me I need to do a riser next week, I can have the copper here next week. If you told me I need to do an Aquatherm riser next week, I might get half of it. I might get all of it. I couldn't tell you 100% whether to have it all or where it's coming from. At least in my experience, that's been my struggle with that product.
So you're saying copper is the right way to go? Because I think currently what we have is steel, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, longevity wise, you will never have to do this again if you put in Type L copper.
Oh, interesting. And cost wise, isn't it like very, like a lot higher cost than steel?
Well, like I was saying before, the main like cost driver on this job is labor. I mean, you hear what I'm doing. It's 10 men
Yeah.
on a small riser for a week, 14 to 16 men on a large riser for a week. And they're working as many hours as it takes to complete the riser in a week. It's not like we stop at 3. If we're behind, we keep working. So if you save, if it's $500,000 in material for the whole job versus $450,000 in material for Aquatherm in the course of a giant riser job, where does that, you know what I mean, with an inferior product that you can't source properly, like, it's like a no-brainer. You're not saving hundreds of thousands of dollars, in other
So
words.
my last question, I appreciate all those answers. My last question is, how much damage do you anticipate to the hallway, to the building in general, when you guys are doing your work?
Very little. We use, we do these types of jobs a lot where we're working in a closet in a hallway. We use floor protection, the clear stuff from the elevator, basically when we're staging and pulling old stuff out. And then we put a 4x8 sheet of masonite in front of every closet, tape it down like with the work area. And we got guys that come behind after we're done and vacuum and make sure it basically looks like it did before we left.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you. By the way, we mentioned it. It was mentioned before that we're installing fire sprinklers. There's going to be a fire sprinkler in every closet. The question is it going to be in your way? Would you rather us wait with those, or would you? It's not a problem.
AC closet?
If they're in the AC closet, it'd be great to wait. If there's a head in there, it's just less likely that anybody's gonna hit it. Because we're gonna be ripping the heat pump. If you guys look in your closet, you'll notice that the heat pump is above the door jamb. So on the last job, we made adjustable stands basically it's got like a leg inside of a leg. So we would put the water heater in and put the stand in where it was like right on top of the water heater, slide the heat pump in, and then jack the stand up and put screws or bolts in the bottom of the stand to basically secure the legs. But when we're doing that, if there's a head in there, taking it out or putting it in,
So the head would be just right above the door frame.
like on the outside.
On the inside.
Inside of the closet, but
Oh, like a sidewall?
yeah.
And it probably
Inside-
should be an
In
issue.
some of the units, I can only talk for my own, there's a bulkhead that protects the sprinkler.
Okay.
Because the bulkhead comes down and the sprinkler is above the bulkhead. So there's just no way that you're going to be able to damage that.
So it's probably not an issue.
Just have you
If it's
aware
a
of it.
sidewall head and it's right inside the wall, it's probably not an issue.
Right.
All right,
Okay.
thank you.
Your work is gonna start from the bottom of the roof level down. On the roof, what do you have to do? Just shut off the valve? That's it,
Valve shuts off, our roofer will open up around the pipe
right?
because the pipe goes through the roof
Right.
and then there's like a pitch pan around the piping to seal it from the weather. So our roofer would open that up and then we shove a new pipe through, have a piece with a 90 and then the other piece with a vent for the other riser. And then we stub everything through and then our roofs
So
back around it.
your work is to the shut off valve? From the shut off valve on the roof all the way down.
Both ends, from the main down here, from the valve out and then up.
If we have problems with the valves, because those are old valves, do we have any contingency prices on that or anything, or?
I believe my price included changing out the valves. If it doesn't say it in there, it's definitely.
On the roof?
Oh,
All riser.
First thing we did at Playa was basically that to avoid a problem.
Right.
Because obviously if I'm like, oh, I'm starting this week and then we shut the valve and
Yeah.
nothing happens, it's still got 150 pounds of pressure on it. That's a problem. So our first thing that we did there was did one big shutdown, replace the valves, just slide out a butterfly, slide in a new butterfly. And then we know we got positive shut off at every.
We're putting a new roof in now, as you can see. All right. So whatever work has to be done, can that be done from the roofing contractor that we have here?
I mean, I can use him or I can pull the roofing out and you guys can let him deal with it because it is going to be, it's not like we can do them all at once.
Right,
We
right.
got to do each one when we stub the riser through. So unless you can work something out with them where they temp it around, if they're
No,
redoing the roof now, they temp them in. And then as we do them, when we get all the way done, they come back and do a permanent.
They're already around some of the pipes.
Oh, they're already doing it.
So again, Joe, Joe, it's a new roof. Almost need to have them do it with warranty, right? Right, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was.
It's who, the warranty goes by the manufacturer of the product. So as long as it's like if it's John Mansfield, if it's a John Mansfield certified roofer, they gotta touch it.
It's gotta be re-inspected and done and
But for continuity's sake, it's either or. If you guys want to just, I can pull the roofing out of my proposal and you guys just, I'll coordinate with them, but you're already paying him.
We'll have to,
So-
we'll have to decide on that.
Or just continue, let him finish. And then my roofer's certified in multiple systems. We're just doing a literal pitch pan that big, so.
But in order to change the valve, don't you have to drain the system?
Yes. One shutdown. One whole system shutdown, and then the rest of it will be limited to one riser.
Back to the heating, I see over here, electrical upgrade code. Have we done a hot water heaters recently? I saw a few of them, Scott. So can we see what the changes are, if any?
Yeah, we can go and see if they had to have a switch put in.
Like I said, I just listed it based on past experience, apply it no more, but if you guys want you have your own EC and you want him to go through, it's purely electrical. He just, the first closet, basically, we had him go to, he was like, oh,
Okay.
that's against code, you need to fix that.
Sometimes you have different inspectors, they want different things.
Correct.
I have another thing. The condensation line, you're gonna put a CPVC, correct? Because we have, okay.
It's an open air plenum, so it has to be fire resistant.
Because the existing one we have going down is PVC.
Well, the main stack stays.
Yeah.
It's the piping that comes from the unit to the main stack.
Okay.
And quick question, the riser, when you do it, you build it back up all the way to out of the roof, or is it still staying inside the roof? Like where's the last final joint?
The last joint on the return in the supply is at the shutoff valve.
So that's outside of the roof, that's above the roof.
Penetrating the roof and then turning a 90 and to the isolation valve. That'll
Plus,
all
we heard of an option of putting the shutoff valve just under the roof, so like inside each closet on the 29th floor or the wings, whatever it is, 16th floor, just under, so shutoff valves are still weather protected.
I mean, you could redo it that way when you put in the new pipe, but you'd still have to run new pipe from the existing flange above roof level, because you'd have to, right now you're steel, so you'd have to make a weld joint inside the closet in order to install a valve, which obviously to access it's gonna be a pain in the ass, number one. Number two, now we've got hot sparks inside of the building, whereas with Copper Vic, we're just opening up a chem curb or a pitch pan, shoving a piece of copper through, going to a brand new valve up at roof level where you can see it, it's all exposed, and then it's copper through the roof, which I know Brian just finished a job for another one of our account managers where they were having leaks where the steel pipe penetrated the roof. It was rotten, basically, right at the roof line. So we were doing one at a time, basically opening it up and shoving a new piece of pipe through the roof and making a joint. Down
Well,
below.
we just had a meeting with the roofing company. They don't want to do pitch pans anymore. They
What are
want
they
to do
doing?
wraps.
Oh, just like
Yeah, just a wrap.
is this all, what is this, TPO that you're putting up there?
No, SBS.
Okay.
It's modified.
Okay.
But that's what, because we just had a meeting with them yesterday. They don't want to do no more pitch pans. So that's pitch pockets, whatever. So, but we could work that out with the roofing contract and the manufacturer.
Yeah, you just tell me which way you
Yeah.
want to, it's fine with me, because all I need is just the pipe opened up around it a little bit, where I can shove the new pipe in, and then literally it's done, and the day he's standing there, opening it up, as soon as we shove the piece in, he can close it up.
Right.
Another thing to mention, if you want to relocate those isolation valves, you talk multiple system shutdowns.
Yeah.
Because every time I did, I had to drain that whole riser on the roof, the whole header on the roof to relocate that valve.
We just wanted them out of the elements, because they're up on the roof with the salt, the rain and everything, you know, but if that's the way it could be done, it has to be done. I have no problem with that.
I mean.
If it's, let me ask you this question. If it's your house, how would you do it?
As far as where to put the isolation valves,
Yeah.
Yes.
from a maintenance standpoint, I would leave them on the roof where they're accessible, because how often are you shutting down a whole riser?
There you go. You just answered your question.
So hold on, the question is, Scott, how often do we shut down a whole riser now that the system's pretty old?
You'd just be exercising the valves.
I
just to
mean,
make
the
sure they
only
work.
time we do shut down a riser is if there's a,
Valve that seized up.
yeah, a unit getting the AC replaced and they gotta change the valves.
But we gotta go all new valves. Okay.
But we're gonna have localized valves as well, right, for every unit also, no?
Yes.
Yeah,
It's a brand new set of ball valves at each unit when we replace the riser. So now you're gonna have 100% copper with brand new ball valves.
So those valves all the way on the roof, we're never gonna practically touch them. It's just a headache to the guy behind you. Rodney will have to keep maintaining it.
The only
Yeah.
time you touch those valves is just to exercise them, maybe once every other month, just to make sure that there's not crap building up on the seat. And then that way, when you do need to shut it, it shuts.
It works.
Yeah. don't let it
Rodney,
sit
what's your
for too
opinion?
long without moving.
Wait, Bill is asking, Rodney, what is your opinion?
Leave them on the roof. I agree.
On the roof, then you answered your question.
In our common area AC closets, we have dampers behind the AC units for, the fresh air shaft that's running through there. There may be some that needs to be replaced, or else, if they're working, it may need like a new fusible link or whatever. Is that something we could get done through you guys?
Are those coming from a fan or is it?
No, it's a duct, an air duct, fresh air.
No, I'm saying at the top of the shaft. Is it a fan bringing like unconditioned fresh air in?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, we can replace them. They're probably just a fire damper with a fusible link.
That's it. That's all they are.
But code wise, we just need to be very careful when we do the replacement. That's all I'm gonna tell you. You don't want to open a can of worms.
Yeah. Well, so we have to,
You guys have no issues with wet air, mold in spaces or anything like that right now, do you?
no, but we have a ELSS that was approved by the fire marshal. And part of that is making sure that all those dampers are
Is he,
operable.
is he making you, so they're just a fire damper, right?
Right.
No fire smoke. There's no actuator.
No.
No,
Okay.
fusible link.
Then yeah, if he's already looked at it, we have no problem changing out. But sometimes when we do that, they want you to upgrade from fire dampers to fire smokes, which turns into a
So
giant
no,
issue.
Well, it says fire as fusible links. I know what it
As
is.
long as the fire marshal's already weighed in on
Yeah,
it, we have
yeah.
no issue. I'll pull out the old
There's
damper.
there's no other way to get to it unless the air
Right.
conditioning unit is
Was that,
out.
was that your yearly to get certified?
Yeah. No, it's part of our ELSS program.
so no, all it says is replace the rusted dampers on the HVAC risers with those that have a 1.5 hour fire
Rated.
detection rating.
That's it.
So it's probably a 2-hour wall. So they want a 1.5 hour.
Now, I got
We can do
another
that.
question.
No problem.
Some of these risers.
I just have to see one if they're all common,
Mhm.
like they're all the same size and I can give you like a price per.
We not paint them?
They should be the same size.
Yeah.
No.
They can paint
Copper.
them here, all white. Just leave them copper, right?
No,
Those are
you can
steel.
paint.
That's why they're painted. These are steel. We're putting copper. You don't paint them.
Yeah, that's.
Usually epoxy paint on steel's like more for protection than
Yeah, yeah,
anything,
yeah, yeah.
just to make the pipe last a little longer, so you don't get, when it starts to like, you see upstairs, like where the paint's starting to degrade, where it's starting to like flake off, like rust spots, copper will never do that, doesn't matter, so. And it's inside, so it won't oxidize, so it'll look just like it looks now in 5 years. Plus painting it in there would be a.
But yeah, definitely, we could do the dampers.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Yep.
If you give me a list, I get somebody over here to start measuring them up. Well, they're all the same in that, it's just the hallway rises.
It's one stack per wing, right?
There's 2 stacks on the main.
Oh, one at each end.
Yeah, that's it. This is just 2 stacks on the main. That's it.
Yeah, there's none on the wing.
There's none on the wings.
Yeah, so
The total stacks we have.
basically 60 dampers, probably close to that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
I mean, and they may not all need to be replaced,
Yeah, so if the fire marshal weighed in on it, I have no issue. You sometimes will get into something like that where there'll be a bunch of nasty fire dampers that don't work. And then when the inspector comes out, he's like, well, wait, what are you doing? And then the fire marshal says, no, I want fire smokes. They need to be tied into your panel. I need a sequence of operation. It turns into a whole big
no.
thing. But if he's already weighed in and you already got an
You already have it,
ELSS
Yeah,
project going on,
and
it's fine.
we are having a new fire alarm system put in right now as we speak, and none of that.
Yeah, it's
was
probably fine.
Needed, yeah.
Probably because there's no dedicated, it's not forced. It's just pulling. Basically, each unit's just pulling a percentage outside air. That's probably why they can leave it a fire damper. Which if it's that case, he can get a size and count and we can give you you might as well,
Right.
Yeah.
if the unit's out,
Correct.
like,
We need-
That's the hardest part.
The hardest part is included in the project. The damper install is just a couple of duct guys in a damper. So
In your proposal, I just wanted clarity on this, on the exclusions, it says chemical treatment system, then in parentheses, it says reconnecting existing. Just to be clear, you are gonna reconnect the existing.
correct. Well, now that was remember that proposal originally had the towers in it.
I just.
So
wanted to
that's
make sure
why
was-
that exclusion's still in there.
Okay.
But you guys would maintain your existing chemical treatment. I would just, it's copper, so it really doesn't need much as far as chemical. If it was steel, it's a whole different process with the chemical treatment company. They have to passivate the pipe, put all detergent in it, then inhibitor. It's like a whole process to basically coat the inside of the pipe. With copper, you literally don't need any of that. So we'll just let them know that we're replacing risers, and then he can come adjust his chemical accordingly. Just to make sure, because we're gonna be draining large volumes of water at a time.
Couple not specific questions. I wanted to get the guys that are gonna be boots on the ground involved in this. You have an example of a project you've done recently that just went well? What about it went well? Whether it was stuff with the client, the project work itself, what made that project a success?
We like to think all of our projects go well, right? We pride ourselves on customer service, communicating well with the customer. We go out, we go out, we do all our pre-measuring, so when we come here, we want at least the project may take 3 weeks, right? But you're only gonna see us for a week, because 2 weeks we're doing it off-site, so least impact to you. A specific project,
Doesn't just, I'm just,
yeah, I mean, that's just kind of how we run all our projects, right? It's minimal impact to you. Make sure you're happy. I know like on this last one, I checked in with the building manager every day when we were leaving. Hey, we're done for today. In the morning, was there any complaints, so we can address it just to, alleviate.
Yeah, one to go guy that be here supervisor.
So once we're on, the job starts, he's gonna be here on site every day, and I'm gonna be in and out, right? Helping facilitate him.
similar to the last question, is there a project you can think of that didn't go well, and what factors led to it not going well, and how do we adapt?
I mean, the only projects that really we can is when there's unknowns, like if we're doing a cooling tower replacement or something like that on a roof or weather. We did one on the West Coast where we lost a huge amount of time due to a weather window, but we still got it back on by Monday. We worked all through the week, all through Sunday, which we didn't plan on, right? Just to get it back online. So for the most part, you're gonna get your AC back when we say you are. I can't think of anything recent that.
You guys are boots on the ground Monday through Friday, like what, 8 to 5? Like, how does it work?
Well, our normal hours are eight to 5 service with 7 to 3:30 retro.
But with these type of jobs, it's a little bit different because we're giving you a time frame in which we're gonna have all the ACs running. So it's not a question of OT or straight time. It's more of like, when we get to Wednesday, the guys that are running the job that are here, like Brian and Eric, are calling me saying, hey, seem like 2 or 3 units behind. I'm gonna leave 6 crews here a little late today to catch up. And we're gonna just do what we gotta
We gotta
do.
go on a project like this. We have like milestone. If we're not here by Tuesday,
Well,
3:30,
We
then
know.
we're staying Tuesday till we get to here. So we know.
So you work weekends too?
7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
Yeah, that's what I like.
Sounds like.
Yeah, Airstron, we have people on staff 24/7, 365.
It's a 24/7
Just like
on call.
You guys call on a Saturday or middle of night, something happens.
We want to thank you for that, so we
We're
appreciate that.
we're here. We get, we respond.
Is there anything we have to do on our end for getting them approved for additional hours? Because if they're gonna need to make up time, it sounds like they have a really good tracking system on their daily and weekly production, but if they have to stay after typical work hours, won't be an issue.
No problem, no
Okay,
problem,
just wanted to make sure.
no problem.
Usually it's not a ton extra, but we know well in advance based on like, especially once you get 4 or 5 risers in, because it's pretty cookie cutter, like you kind of know when one's going good. Or, like depending on the openings, like riser clamps aren't hitting, like heat pumps, so the ductwork connections falling apart when we're trying to put it back together. So we have to do a little more duct work. They'll know within a few hours at the end of the day, like, okay, we need to probably stay and get a little caught up versus we're right where we need to be.
Other than the way the slabs were cut out where the risers were running through at Playa del Mar, what other unforeseens did you guys run into during
We
that?
did run into when we first originally started draining the water heaters. The thought was to drain into your guys' existing drain.
And then we overcame that
That
drain.
didn't work out too well.
Very
for us.
quickly.
So,
Yeah.
we ended up with, we hooked to an inline pump and pumped the water out of the water heater.
Basically
So
like bought
we
a
caught that
small
first
plug-in
riser.
pump and rigged a hose connection to it, and just had the other end of the hose in a giant buggy and had a couple crews, and you could suck a water heater dry in like, I don't know, 5
It was
minutes.
quicker than draining it the way we were draining it, but it overcame the drain and it just became an issue. So that was one.
We
of
also
the issues.
didn't count on the water, how hot, like you're turning them off the morning of. So it's still a vessel full of hot water.
Yeah.
So disposing of it into a drain, the hose was hot to handle, then you're overcoming the drain line because you're trying to do 4 or 5 at a time. So, but we basically just pivoted. I got pumps ordered, and then from there it was, other than the hot water messing with the pumps initially,
We did burn up a lot of.
we burned up a couple pumps, but other than that, we got a system down, and then it was smooth sailing. from
If
there.
you get a system down, it's easy.
But the first one's always the experience.
Yeah.
When I did my jobs, when I got a system going, I said, give me more, give me more, give me more.
By the 4th or 5th riser, we already knew what we were
Exactly.
expecting, you know?
So you guys just came in from the front of our building when you walked in. Where do you foresee parking your truck for all the garbage, basically, all the stuff that you guys are discarding of?
Garbage and stuff will be downstairs and we'll truck it out. Basically, as it piles up, we'll be trucking it out. And then parking is all on you guys. You just tell us where you want us.
You don't need space for a dumpster?
That's not enough because we have a stake body truck that will, because really we're just sections of pipe, you know, and old heat pumps. So we can stack them on a stake body truck and
Yeah, we're only doing one riser at a time.
So hold on. So my question is, are you parking the truck like outside on the street, or are you parking it like, because we have one entrance for in and out. So I'm just wondering which area is gonna be closed for the period of time that you guys are loading, the discarded items.
the ramp, like right at the bottom there,
So
on the
it's
side of the
like
ramp,
from
and
that
it'll be
side of the
there
roof
like
all the way down.
intermittently. It's not like we're gonna block the whole ramp for 2 days. It'll be like the truck will be there we'll get everything ready to move, and then the truck will show up. We'll spend a couple hours loading the truck, and then the truck will take
I'm
off.
reading it the way you're saying it. but they're telling me
All right, because
different.
there's the dumpsters right now there. They're probably gonna be there for the next, little bit.
That's what I'm
So,
That's
Just-
okay. I mean, we'll work around them. It's, like I said, it's very small increments of time that we're loading and unloading.
amazing. Okay, thank you.
Like I have it says over here, tied in existing roof piping to new vertical lines below roof slab penetration. Now, the way I'm reading it is something different, that you're only gonna go to the roof, but to the bottom of the slab, you're going to the top of the roof.
100%.
I want to be clarified on that, all right? The valve, right where the valve is.
Yeah, most of them came out 90 and went maybe a foot.
Yeah.
Had a
Go about
vent
that
there.
far.
and then
Yeah.
it was gonna-
We
So new
included
valve,
the
new vents.
flange, the valve, the piece of pipe, the 90, the vent, if there's a vent, and then down through the roof.
So
There
you got
wasn't a vent.
the valve, the line, and it going down, and this goes right to the cooling tower.
Right.
And this
That goes to the main, that goes.
and there's the roof, all right?
Tom, did you have something to say?
I was just kind of popping in to say I had noticed that as well, that we were envisioning making the connection below the roof just to avoid having to do any roofing. But based on the way you're talking about it and describing it, I'm happier to do it this way. So please ignore the instruction to connect below the roof level.
Just for
Clarify.
clarity, Tom.
How much parking do you guys need?
We will need
A lot.
10 or 12 spots, you know.
The week we're here.
We'll get it for you.
That was another reason we spaced them out. too.
We'll make it happen, don't worry, you get us the pipes, we'll make it happen. I'll stay on the park, I'll park my car outside, don't worry about it.
What about that lot across? Is that public or is that private?
Public, you guys pay the meter.
We got plenty of parking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Don't
upper
worry
deck,
about
we do this
parking.
all day. I mean, we could utilize that.
We'll tow a couple cars for you, don't worry about it.
I got two small quick questions, and that's not a big deal. On the previous, bid that you put in with the cooling towers, your mobilization was 12,000, Now it's, how much does it have for the mobilization? On the second page?
67,000.
67,000.
It's just math, the way I broke out the bid sheet, the first time versus the second time.
Is there any negotiation on this price, or you want just the big heads to come?
I can tell you that before we submitted this job, I went through every dollar of it, every nut and bolt. We got money back from our local, to keep it a union project. They basically subsidize us to get the job, to keep it away from a non-union company. I mean, I can go back and ask, but if there's a savings, it's gonna be minimal. I can tell you that.
You had a pretty good solution to the temporary cooling, and I wanted to give you a chance to share with everyone because I actually was very impressed with what you guys had come up with.
Okay. So obviously we're shutting your stuff down for a week. Basically what we would do, we purchase before the job about 33-ish, spot coolers, like little regular Home Depot spot coolers that any person can move around their house. We give them to all the residents on the stack, basically before we start. And then they can move them from the bedroom to the living room if they choose to stay. So they have some sorts of cooling.
Right.
You know, they could plug into a wall while we're doing it. And then when we're done with that stack, everybody has their AC. We basically take those, move them to the next stack. One breaks, we throw it away, get another
I
one.
understand.
But it gives you guys some semblance of cooling. I mean, you know, it is a longer duration project, not for everybody, but depending on the time of year that we actually get to your
the key.
riser.
That's the key.
Some people might be in the wintertime. They might not even need it, which we'll give it to them anyways. Other people, it might end up in a little bit hotter time of the year, but they'll have a spot cooler. So
At the end, they keep them.
at the end.
So
you
that's
guys
something
can-
I wanted to ask. Once you guys start the project, you go all the way to the end, right? There's no like, hurricane season or I don't know what, frost season. I have no idea.
Like I said before, we basically put together a schedule. All parties agree upon the riser schedule, and the date that we start is the date we start, and we move through the risers until we're done.
Amazing, thank you.
Obviously, if we're getting hit with like, knock on wood, hopefully we don't, but if we're getting hit by like a Cat 4, or Cat 5, and they
Oh,
can't,
yeah,
it's not safe, but that's nothing they control. There's no
And we'll also,
seasonal work that's gonna limit them from what
if
they're
we
doing.
know it's the week that we're gonna do a riser, obviously we'll come secure anything that's not secured that we have, which most of our stuff's inside the building anyways. But then we'll just suspend the work and then move that riser, a week or so whenever storm passes, and then try to maintain the schedule as best we can.
I think we, back to the tenants, I think they could purchase more units if they want it, right? If they want
I know
more.
Tom had mentioned something about giving them an option, basically if they would like an additional. So we're gonna provide one per apartment. I could give a cost per, just like we're doing with the heat pumps. And if a resident says, I want 3, they can buy the other 2 to have, and then they can keep them if they want. We'll deliver them to you, but you would just have to let us know in advance.
Timeframe. It
Wait,
says-
wait. We're talking about the number of spot coolers per apartment at this point?
Yeah.
Remember we were talking, I'm providing a single per, and we're gonna move them through the.
Yeah.
And you were talking about giving them like a cost per, if they wanted to buy an extra one, like the resident themselves.
Yeah, no, I just did as far as the number of coolers, because the way the spec is written, it works out to usually more than one cooler per apartment, where we're saying we need one for the main area, we need one for each bedroom. So depending on how many bedrooms and things like that, like it's not like one per apartment. It should be at least 2 or 3 per apartment is the allowance. Maybe they don't need that many.
Did
It
one per
depends what
apartment to
stack.
where they could move it around, basically.
Depends
from
what
the living
stack
room.
he's on. If he's on the 14th stack, it's only 1 bedroom. If he's on the 4 stack, it's a 1 bedroom. If he's on the 15 or 16 stack, it's 2 bedroom. He's on the 1 and 17 stack, it's 3 bedrooms. So that's what changes.
Well, we,
But if
Yeah,
you
but
have-
that's what Tom is saying. Tom is saying that you based on the apartment size, that's the number you should have. But Tom, what he's saying, what Airstron is saying is that basically they're going to give you one and then you move it to wherever you're located.
Right, if you're
So
in your
like,
bedroom,
That the only downside with that is obviously I understand people being hot, awesome, but I think what Tom is trying to get to is mold or other issues where if we don't have AC there, then it might get impacted, especially in summer.
that and just, it becomes an ease of use thing. Obviously you want a spot cooler in your bedroom when you're sleeping at night. You want a spot cooler in your bedroom if you're taking a nap or hanging out in the bedroom. You want a spot cooler in the main living areas if you're there, and you don't want to be having to move the spot cooler every time you go from one room to another. That's that's where that spec came from. It's just kind of like, well, okay, where are we going to want? Okay, we're going to need one here. We're going to need one here. We're going to need one here at a minimum. To me, it was, if you're trying to do it with one spot cooler per apartment, that's not going to be good enough. So we specified multiple. So if we're talking about, we're going to provide the coverage that we're asking for, and then they can have the option of getting even more if they want to be extra covered, because one for the common areas doesn't necessarily do it, right? Depending on the layout of the apartment and that it's a large room and all this business. The other direction you could go with it is if you want to say one per apartment actually is okay. We can switch it up to that too if we want to, but I just want to make sure we get on the same page about that.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Wait,
on your bid
hold on one
sheet.
second. I'm gonna play devil's advocate. As a spot cooler, there's so many B2Us. You can buy them at different B2Us, correct?
Yeah.
So if it's a 3 apartment, we'll say 3 bedroom, you have a B2U that's going to cover 3 bedroom. If it's a 1, just per square footage, it works that way, David. You can shake your head, but it works that way.
No, I'll tell you why, because your output, doesn't matter how high your BTU is, your output is in their room. So
It has,
in the other room,
it talks about square footage that it can cover.
I
Right.
know you
Buy
don't have
different
access to that
sizes.
room, right? That's what I'm saying.
You have one
I
air
agree with what you're saying.
conditioner,
It'd be
you have
amazing
one
if it
air
was-
conditioner in your closet. Okay, it will do it. It's like, I have 1,350 square feet. I bought a dehumidifier that takes care of the square footage for my apartment. It's the same way with air conditioner. You can buy them in different increments of sizes. Correct me if I'm wrong, Airstron.
The issue is the circulation of the air, because the spot cooler is only able to supply and return air from one location. So, if it's in a small room or a large room, it's really only going to be able to handle the room that it's in. So as soon as you have like a bedroom closed off via a door from the living room, that bedroom is not going to get love if the spot cooler's in the living room.
Well, sleeping at night, okay, we have to look at it this way too. We need to hold the price down on a job where we can save money. We can save money. So they're on wheels. You can move them from room to room. If you're in the living room, then you put it in the living room. If you're going to bed, then you bring in the bedroom and go to bed with it. If you're in the kitchen, you're cooking, you can put it in the kitchen. I don't care where you want to put it. You can put it in a bathroom for all I care. But the problem is, you got to work. Everybody has to work in order to keep the price down. It's a little bit of inconvenience, but that's what you have to do sometimes.
I think that Tom agrees with you. He just wants to know which way we want to take it. That's it.
If you start.
Yeah,
doing-
that's the issue. Right now, the bid spec is written as, one for the common area, one for each bedroom.
Well,
Sounds like-
now's the time to change it.
Your bid sheet, I'm gonna assume that's for the main tower, we have 28 floors, so I'm gonna assume that's for 28.
33 included.
33.
Just
One
because
breaks in the middle of the
they
night.
break.
Okay.
I don't want to have 28 and then one breaks. I got 27, now I gotta go get one. I'd rather have them here and then we have redundancy.
As much as they love the midnight calls, I don't think they want one for
No,
when he's going
Not
down.
for a temporary spot.
We have to address that.
But that's a you guys question. You want me to add more spot coolers? I can add more.
That's a discussion we can have later.
Yeah, and just
Yeah.
so, because I know people on teams were talking at the same time as people in the stream, so just to recap, what Kyle said was actually a very good point, is that each resident is being assessed for this project, and the question is, why does resident A get 3 spot coolers and resident B is only getting 2? If you're saying it's because of the size of their apartment, that's a conversation that needs to be had, versus if you just give, everyone's getting 1, it's mobile, you can move it around. I can see it being argued both ways, but it's a point for discussion that we can do internally.
Also, if you want me to include the option for the resident themselves to buy more, then it's fair. If one resident wants to buy 5 spot coolers because they want to be 68 degrees in their apartment for 1 week while we change the riser, that's okay. They're not super expensive. If we
Excuse
give
me.
one 3, another guy 2, another guy 1, another guy 3.
Well, it depends on the size of the apartments.
Plus it becomes a nightmare for us to track which apartments get 3, which apartments get 2, which
Well,
apartments get 1.
That's pretty easy, because like I told you, stack 14 and stack 4 are 1 bedroom, stack 15 and 16 are 2 bedrooms, 1 and 17 are 3 bedrooms, very simple. And the other ones are 2 bedrooms.
That's what I mean, is it's a question of you guys, how many do you want? That's all.
And how many do the residents also need? Because I'm sure some residents with 3 bedrooms or 2 bedrooms aren't using them.
That's true.
And don't need their guest bedroom with no one staying here because we're replacing fire alarms, fire sprinklers, riser pipes, new roof. I don't think their family and friends are really trying to spend the night too often.
A lot of the people that were in Playa too, when they knew their riser was coming up, they would leave.
Yeah.
I'm leaving.
They would go on vacation.
If we wanted,
They would leave and come back. They never noticed anything different.
if we wanted a spot cooler for every bedroom that the association, purchased, we'd need a minimum of 84 to cover the 1 in 17.
If you're
Yeah,
not
but,
counting the common
but they're
area.
working at 1 stack at a time.
But it's still, that's your
So-
3-bedroom
Oh,
stack.
yeah, that's right, 3 bedrooms, 3 times that, 8, I understand. 3 times.
Plus a couple extra, some more than 84.
Well, the 3 bedrooms can get away with 2, I believe. Like I said, it depends on the BTUs, maybe they can work around it. We'll have to figure that out. Okay, what else we got?
I'm also just want to throw this in there for the conversation. Based on we're having this conversation now, obviously we still have to negotiate, sign a contract. We still have to go through permitting. We're not, and then there's a window I'm sure you guys need after all that to mobilize. I mean, realistically, we're not starting this until September, October on an aggressive timeline.
Yeah.
It's already middle of July. So
We would work, technically we work most of the time because we know contract going back and forth, all that stuff takes time. It almost never goes standard AIA. It's always a custom contract. So it takes time, but we usually work off an LOI. I'll set up the work order, start getting materials sourced in order. My guys will be out laying out, just to not get the permit started. We're not going to wait and, prolong the inevitable. I don't see it going anywhere past like what you're saying, if not sooner.
I don't see it going past that time either, but then what I'm thinking is logistically, you guys then need to mobilize to the job site, start doing the prep work, start draining the risers. We're not starting to take AC off in units until mid-September at the absolute earliest, so we're starting to enter the colder months.
After the summer.
After, yeah, absolutely, it's the perfect time.
That's what I was saying before,
Perfect
depending
time.
on the time frame we do the riser. Some people might not need any spot cooling.
Right.
Some people might not need, might need more.
This is the perfect time.
So if you're expecting a starting date, beginning, let's say, top of September, then your end date would probably be what, like 6 months later, something like that?
I think it was 42 weeks.
42 weeks.
Approximately.
But why is that necessary when it only takes you 1 week per riser, when there's only 20
Just like I
risers?
said, we space weeks in between to like take stuff out, remobilize for the next ride. We need time to prep. If we were doing them back to back to back to back, to stage the material takes a day. You get what I'm saying?
And you can't do that extra week during that week that you're already working. So let's say you've dismantled everything is down below. Now you're starting to build. You can't have another crew that will come in and just remove all the stuff. So basically what I'm saying, can we not do back to back to back to back?
We can do back-to-back risers, but it's only on the shorter risers. The taller risers, there's too much coming out and too much going in. So if you're starting before we've removed everything from the site and installed all the new, you have a huge backup downstairs and then a ton of personnel. The smaller risers, no issue. We can do 2 of those.
Yeah.
Back to back, because like he said, we're done by like Thursday-ish. We're already done. So that Friday, we're bringing the new stuff in for the next riser.
On the lower riser, some of the risers are in the sheetrock walls. How did you handle that? I mean, they're not exposed.
Stripping it out, and you guys, same as we were doing for the original RFP.
Because the air
When we're done, you
conditioning,
put the
the
drywall
air
back.
conditioning and the hot water heaters up to the side and the riser on the other side. So you don't have to move that stuff.
That same intent that we were
You
doing,
know what I'm talking about, right? On the lower units.
the original job, you guys had the drywall and stuff covered when we were doing everything, drywall and ceilings. So all it's gotta be is open, and then we do the rest, and then when we're done, you guys.
Who's doing the opening? You're doing the
You
opening?
guys are.
Well, opening it or closing it?
Oh,
You need us to come in and open all the drywall as well.
yeah, it was the same as the original job. The drywall and the GC work was on the building, it said in the RFP.
There's not a whole lot that are like.
Not much,
No,
especially now that it's just risers. Before when we were talking about maybe doing the main riser and the
no, we're not. doing
horizontal
that.
piping, there was a lot more. Now, like you said, it's just those corner,
Right.
the bigger closets.
Yeah, the bigger closet.
That's the only one. So if you guys get a pieceworker to come in and cut a strip out, we'll replace and then they can come back.
Some
And
of them are already copper, believe it or not. I saw them.
yeah, I'd say Playa was the same way. There was sections
Yeah.
that they'd like repaired
Yeah.
over the years and just kind of band-aided everything.
Right. Anything else, gentlemen?
I have some questions.
Okay, that's what I was waiting for.
If we need multiple air conditioners and hot water heaters where they're outdated, are we able to buy them in bulk and give the residents a decrease in price?
Yes. It's based on I mean, the best thing is you guys can put your feelers out, like the association, and get some response back as far as how many you can give me approximate.
Yeah.
How many you think, and based on that, I can go back to my manufacturer and say like, hey, I'm gonna probably buy 150 of these. And then the multiplier will get better versus me listing my unit price as like a single heat pump. It's gonna be way different if I'm buying 150 at a time.
And what is the life expectancy of the water heater and the HVAC you're gonna be installing?
6
Uh,
years, 6 years is the water heater.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, AC is probably 10 at
Yeah.
most.
Yeah.
Being as it's inside, it's just recirculating. I mean, 10 years for pretty much any piece of AC equipment now is pretty decent.
And for the water heater, sorry, so 10 years for the HVAC and water heater is?
6.
I think it's 6, if I'm not mistaken. What are the, how, do you know? 6? 6 or 7?
Sorry, Bill.
Question number 2. Do you suggest that we put leak protection on these apartments? Water leak protection. Where it shuts off say if somebody
Oh.
doesn't shut their hot water heater off and they're out of the building for a week, 2 weeks, 2 months, or whatever it might be. They don't shut their water off, a leak develops.
Uh-huh.
Do you put leak protection in there where it shuts it off so it doesn't
We have,
affect any other apartment in the building?
we have a float switch on the AC unit where if there's a leak, if the drain pan overflows, the unit shuts off. But with the water heater, it would be, other than something that would notify you that there's a leak with a water heater, there's no shut off valve that would stop the domestic water from going into the vessel if you had a leak. So it would just, even if there was something that notified you there was a leak, it would continue to leak until somebody manually shut the valve off. And that
I
would
have
be
here, I have it, I disagree with you. I have it in my house up here. If there's a leak detected in the bathroom, all it needs is a drop of water and it automatically shuts the main off.
So you have an automatic valve on your main?
Automatic shut off.
Yeah, but there's no automatic valve on the water heaters here on the cold water. So it wouldn't shut off.
Okay, well,
That's what I'm getting at is you'd have to have the valve as well.
We can have an
Right, that's
alarm.
right.
We can have an alarm making a sound. That's not a problem, like a battery operated water detector with a battery once the.
Yeah, you can have those audible leak detectors. They would
Audible
make a
leak
loud
detector, yeah.
noise like
Somebody
this
will
is
always hear
leaking,
it.
but right now, the way those water heaters are, you would manually have to shut the cold water valve off in the
Right.
closet.
All right,
The heat pump itself, the actual AC, we are including the float switch.
Yeah, flow switch, it's necessary.
Yeah.
yes. All right, here's the other question. I currently in my apartment, I think a lot of other people also have it. In order to get to change the air filter, I gotta fold mine in half in order to get it in. Are we gonna be able to eliminate that when we go to put basically put the air conditioners and the hot water heaters back in
Your filter goes on the inside of the closet, correct?
Yeah.
on the inside of the closet? In other
So
words, the doorway, I have to bend it to get it in through the doorway to get it up.
You're limited with height because of the heater.
correct. But the best, that grill is on the inside of the apartment, so
Yeah, yeah.
it's side, like a sidewall.
Yeah. The way, mine, I just unscrew the bottom flange, I just drop it, it pops right out.
You
Well,
could,
there's difference. There's like a 24 by 24 return grill, and then there's a 24 by 24 filter back grill. So the filter back grill is the one where you open the little screws in it from the inside, and you can just
Now
you can
mine's
change
in the
grill out
closet.
for that. So where you can do your filter from the apartment side.
Well,
versus folding it in half and trying to do it like
I
a,
don't have that problem.
Now,
right, to solve that issue, that's what I'm saying, you could put instead of, you could put a return, filtered back return grill in your apartment.
so instead of putting the filter on the back side from the closet side, there's basically a hinged front to the grill and it hinges down and you just lay the filter into the grill and close the front of the, close the
we
front
should,
of the
we
grill.
should take a look at that. The other thing I noticed, because I looked at all 29 common areas, some of the filters are so close to the riser that you can't even get it in. You got to fight it to get it in. You'll take notice when you start doing it, or whoever starts doing it.
Well,
The
like-
installation was not thought
right. Gotcha.
properly on the install.
So in other words, the grill was put in when the apartments were being fit out, and then when the riser was slid in, it was on top of the grill, basically.
Yeah, it's impossible to get it. They're just practically impossible. Rodney could show you.
Okay.
I think the main idea is that we're putting back the system, we're taking out the system, putting exactly back whatever we took out. So the question is, how can we solve it with the new system coming in?
I mean, the problem we have if the risers are in the way of the filter is the deck was sleeved. I'm limited to where I can move within that rectangle. Like I can move the pipe. Now we could cheat it to one side and give a little more access, but obviously we can't move the pipe to another location.
Understood.
Yeah, but I mean, we can do our best to cheat it to one side to where it gives you as much access as possible, for the guy changing the filter.
Sure.
No, the auxiliary, the drain pans, that's only included when you put a new,
No, it's included on everyone.
okay.
Yep. You stole my question, Alex, but that's okay.
No, basically, we just because of getting in the individual inspections, it's much nicer in the beginning of the job. Because like some of them might have drain pans, some of them might have stainless hoses. The problem is I didn't install those.
Right.
So if I just start piecemealing stuff, then the inspector sees a different looking thing on every closet. He's messy, automatically throws somebody's flag up. If it's exactly the same on the first 3 or 4 risers, it gets to the point where he's coming out and being like, yeah, where's the card? And he signs it and he's on his way,
Good.
which
Okay.
means no waves. When I start like, oh, we can reuse these hoses, either number one, they're like cheap stainless hoses that are $50 and you might have a blowout, or it doesn't look the same, it's shorter. I'm trying to stretch something to make it work or to save how much
Okay,
money,
very good.
So just under no circumstance, you guys need access to the units themselves. So if residents are like saying, hey, well, we need to be here. Do we need to take pictures beforehand? Any of that stuff? No.
Only if we have an issue with the unit that's starting and we need to get to the thermostat
Yeah, like if, so say.
or a
we-
breaker.
We shut the unit off, we take it out, we put their exact unit back in, hook everything back up. And you tell all the residents, okay, turn your air back on. They turn it on and something doesn't come on. We would need to access that individual apartment just to see the thermostat, basically to see what they did, or if there's something going on with the stat itself, or if it's the unit itself.
We have people that actually left and turned their thermostats off.
Yeah.
So we wanted to get in there and make sure this thing came on, so when they did come back, we didn't get a call and the unit wasn't
So
working.
we got security for that. That's not a problem.
Understandable.
That's easier. What do we do in the event somebody has some pretty messed up electrical work going on in the closets?
Like I said,
Are you guys
we'll-
gonna rewire it or?
We'll note it when we go, if it's something that's outside of our scope, but like the electrical whip for the unit itself and stuff, if there's something that's substandard, obviously we're gonna fix it. If the whip's perfectly fine, we're just gonna take it loose and hook it back up, because most of the time we're putting the unit back in. And even if we get a new unit, it's very comparable to what's in the closet. So the knockouts are pretty much in the same spot. But if we see something where like the green field slid down and there's this much wire exposed and there's no insert in the green field, obviously we'll church that up.
So we ran an extension cord.
Yeah. We'll church that up before we leave the closet, because obviously it's my inspection at that point. Like it's Airstron that's got to get a sign off. So I can't leave it and say, well, that was like that before we
No, I mean, there's
touched
just
it,
some handyman that live in the building that I'm just worried, hey, there might be some surprises.
At the end of the day, everything's got to pass inspection, so we gotta leave it where it's passing
Mhm.
Oh,
inspection.
disconnection changing them too?
And we'll note that when we do,
No.
the,
No, not change disconnects. And you still have to send out a letter to everybody. They gotta remove all this stuff from the
Yeah.
closets. We got
That's
people in
the-
closets.
That was
with-
another
with
thing that
sh-
we
With
encountered.
chairs, with shoes, with umbrellas.
They use that as, it's amazing what people can fit in that.
Oh,
closet.
Made into the dumpster.
Their beach storage.
Yeah.
But you give them like 4 weeks notice and then you get to a closet and it's like two beach chairs, a raft, a bucket.
Shoes, they have a guy with a whole stack of shoes in there.
So that would be a big thing is at least make sure they're semi-empty.
Yeah, if not, throw everything out.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I'm impressed. I am impressed.
Well, it's an unfair advantage. We've already done one of these.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's good. That's good for us.
If you have an employee that is sick, not feeling well, then you got another employee to come and fill that, right? It's not gonna be like a delegate.
No. We have more than enough. Just the retro staff alone, I think is over 50 guys. So it's not a situation where one guy's out, we can't replace him. And the heat pump replacements themselves, we're utilizing service techs. So it's not, there's retrofit guys that are doing the actual, nuts and bolts install. The change out of the heat pump is actually just a service tech, which we have hundreds of vans on the road. So like it's guys that are familiar with the building, familiar with the area, and that do that every day. So plenty of
I think
manpower.
we even had them on last one. Guys were slow, didn't have a call.
Yeah,
Come over, we use a sling heat pump.
If we-
So
if
it,
they had a slow day, like in the wintertime, if service slowed down a little bit, we just took on extra techs here to put in heat pumps because it made life easier, If they got done faster, it's the same amount of labor. With more guys, it didn't matter. So
So so first of all, you guys are gonna use our elevators, obviously, going up and down, I'm assuming. The other question is, when you guys leave the job site, do you verify there's no screws left behind? I mean, like, it sounds weird, but I mean, like, just a screw or a nail, or I don't know, whatever it is from demolition or from installation, because as weird as it is, we do have people that walk around barefoot, but we want to make sure there's no harm to anybody. So do you guys verify, you go over with a magnet? I don't know what your plans
that's
are.
also the benefit of doing it like we do it with the system we have, where there's a crew coming behind another crew, coming behind another crew. If they didn't catch it, the next guy will catch it. We're moving through these apartments pretty quickly. And when we leave it, it's pretty much that crew leaves it pretty clean. The next crew does their thing. They leave it pretty clean. If there was something that the other crew left, they're gonna catch it.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, really, we try to leave it as close to normal as you guys are used to. We realize everybody's living here, nobody's leaving
Yeah,
while we're doing this, so,
yeah, so we bought, I think, 6 or 7 vacuums too, and
yeah.
every day we vacuumed from the closet all the way back to the elevator that we did, at the end of every day.
So I was saying, like, we try to leave it as close to where, before we got there as possible. And like every day, we're doing that sort of like repetitive cleanup just to keep it where, people know that we're doing a riser, but if they come out of their apartment and they see stuff like in front of a closet, automatically they're gonna call. So we try to like limit that as much as possible.
Amazing. And if a resident brings up an issue to Scott, how quickly is the response time? Like,
You go to we're gonna have a designated guy that's on site that's running the project, which would be Eric. You guys come straight to Eric, and if it needs to be escalated past Eric going to the employee, it'll go to either Brian or myself, and there'll be resolution within the day.
amazing. Thank you. I'm good. No more questions.
We can start this job in October, it'd be perfect. October, November, December, January, February,
Because you'll
March.
get-
This is, by the way, but Alex, don't forget, this is our high season, yeah? Like, starting.
No, October, November, December is perfect.
That's the trade-off.
Yeah.
Higher occupancy, but
It's okay, it's
you
okay.
can open a window and it's nice
Yeah, well,
outside.
listen, it is what it is. We're only gonna work on one stack at a time, so it's not like the whole building.
July, August, September, not so
Did
good.
you guys get to walk our building just to see the closets and everything, or you just, what you know is from Playa and that's it?
I walked, when we bid this originally, the first go around, when it had everything in it, I walked. Checked the common area closet, ceilings, roof, pump room. And it's, I mean, it is crazy high.
Yeah, I mean, David, realistically, it's only gonna be 28 units at a time.
Yeah.
You know, being inconvenienced, not,
Yeah.
you know.
It is what it is.
not
For a
the
week.
building, so.
I agree, but we have special residents.
We
Too
can have them
bad.
go to the place for that time being, David.
We'll send them to your apartment, David.
Yeah.
Please do. Come, just let me know which one.
Okay,
Alex, you're not even gonna be here. What are you talking about?
I'm not gonna be here. I'm taking a
Do
couple.
you have
of
any
weeks off.
empty apartments? you're
Going
gonna
on a
get?
cruise.
Yeah, by the way, did you guys provide cruise discounts for the whole building if they want to leave?
We did do one job at Carnival Cruise Lines, so
Nice.
maybe. Maybe we could pull some
Maybe you have
strings.
some connections there. All right. Thank you very much.
You got any questions?
I'm good.
Scott,
I'm good.
Bill,
Nope, I'm pretty good.
David,
Good.
Tom, you said a lot,
Nope, I'm good.
guys. All right. Let's make it
Brian,
a-
thanks for setting this up. Thank you for coming, guys. Pleasure meeting you.
Oh, whoa, wait a minute. I got a question.
Bill, no, we're all standing already.
Not all about this. The piers. Did you guys look at the piers? For the,
That's not part of this.
What's that?
This is something, this is rises, this rises,
I thought we were going to talk about the piers also.
this is the rises.
But we can do it. We can set up another appointment for it. We can ask the question
What do you want to ask, though, Bill? What you mean, like for the other project?
for the cooling towers, for the,
When you
okay,
guys
ask them to
To
check.
do, to look at all of our cooling towers, you know, can you, look at the cooling tower supports? Also, give us your opinion on the condition and anything.
I wanna be
anything
there
needs
too
to
when
be
we do
done.
that.
I already looked into that, as far as like, we were looking
When you
at
coming back out,
replacing the
Matt?
towers with the concrete restoration, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Next week.
So
Yeah.
obviously there's visible stuff that needs to get fixed
Yeah.
concrete wise, and I'm sure the worry of the condo is how long is the cooling tower gonna be down while they do all these repairs? Because concrete restoration is obviously, if you guys have ever done a project with concrete restoration, it's
I've done too
very,
many.
very open-ended.
So
Mhm.
As
where,
far as timeline,
Don't go there.
we're thinking of putting the cooling tower replacement project on pause
Uh-huh.
and having you guys come out and do a shitload of repairs for our cooling towers to give us 3-5
More
more
time,
years
yeah.
of life. Yeah.
Until we finish the
just-
rises, once we finish the rises, then we address that.
food for thought when you're looking at doing the concrete restoration for that. When we were gonna turnkey it, and I was gonna include all that under my scope,
Yeah.
I deal with a company called Core Restoration, that subs under me. Basically, what the methodology we came up with is I had an engineer basically preliminary do a shoring plan for the existing structure. And we were gonna shore underneath with like a subsystem temporarily. And then we were gonna have him restore one column at a time while the towers ran. So basically do the concrete work underneath the existing steel and then get all that done. And then when I did my crane pick, like the normal job that we did originally,
Yeah.
we would pull and set the tower and steel, but it would be on the repaired and restored concrete
Okay.
piers. So you guys don't lose cooling for a, you know,
30,
Few
40.
months.
well, with concrete restoration, if you just tell them, I'm gonna take the towers off, they're gonna tell you, yeah, it'll be a week. And then they go, oh, it's more than we thought. It's 2 weeks. Oh, now it's 3 weeks. Oh, it's 4 weeks. At least with this way, it's longer duration because you're doing one column at a time, but
You're online.
you're online. And we're not touching the cooling tower until all the concrete work's done. Because it could take 2 months. It doesn't matter. You guys have AC, you know? But that was the way I approached it originally when it was on the drawings.
The
So-
only question is for that is, when Tom put in his report, about 2 years ago, that we have a 1 to 2 year life expectancy for those supports. So, I mean, we could take all the time in the world, but 1 to 2 years,
Tom didn't produce that report. It was somebody else from Epic.
sorry, no, Tom, I mean, Epic.
Let them do the evaluation, then they'll get
Yeah.
back to us, correct?
That's what, I only wanted to bring it up. That's all.
Okay,
All right, now they know what they have to do.
I'd like to walk with you guys.
Bill, now you owe everybody coffee, great.
No problem. Come to my house. I'll give you all the coffee you want, David. I'll cover you up in coffee.
You guys want to move this table back? over?
No, we'll take
I'll
care of
take care
it.
of it.
All right, thank you, guys.
See ya.
See you guys. Thanks, Tom. See you. Bill.
Have a good day, guys.